We live in a world of constant noise. We are surrounded by a digital web, waves of cellular data, radio frequencies, and satellite signals that crisscross every inch of our atmosphere. But there are places on this planet where the web unravels. Places where the static takes over, and your devices become useless glass in your pocket. To the casual traveler, these are just dead zones. But to the people who live near them, and to the researchers who study them, they are known as the Great Silence. Welcome back to Shadows of the Unknown. Today, we are investigating the terrifying reality of zones where physics, time, and sound seem to warp. From the legendary Zone of Silence in Mexico to the forbidden radio quiet zones in the United States, we are going to explore what happens when the hum of modern civilization is replaced by something far more ancient, and far more dangerous. If you've ever felt a sudden, inexplicable coldness in the air, or if your watch stopped for no reason, you might have been closer to a rift than you think. Before we dive deeper into the void, if you are a seeker of the unexplained and enjoy uncovering the world's darkest secrets, make sure to hit that like button right now. It helps our investigations reach more people. And if you haven't joined our community yet, click subscribe and turn on all notifications. Don't let the algorithm hide the truth from you. Join the shadows of the unknown today. Our journey begins in the Mapimí Desert in Mexico, at a place known as La Zona del Silencio. In 1970, an American Athena missile launched from Utah went wildly off course. Instead of hitting its target in New Mexico, it inexplicably veered south, traveled hundreds of miles across the border, and crashed in the middle of this desolate desert. When the recovery teams arrived, they found something that defied explanation. In a specific area of the desert, radio signals were impossible. Transmission simply died in the air. Magnetic needles spun wildly or refused to point north. The US government spent weeks in the area, but the mystery only deepened. Researchers discovered that the Zone of Silence is perfectly aligned with the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Pyramids of Giza. It is a place where meteorites seem to be pulled from the sky, as if the ground itself acts as a massive magnetic vacuum. But the silence isn't just technical, it's sensory. Travelers report hearing voices in the wind and seeing strange, tall figures walking across the salt flats, figures that disappear the moment they are approached. To understand the danger of these zones, we must look at a phenomenon known as the Oz effect. It is a term used by researchers to describe the sudden and total loss of environmental sound. Imagine you are walking through a forest or a field. The birds are chirping, the wind is rustling the leaves, and the insects are buzzing. Then, in a single heartbeat, everything stops. The birds go silent. The wind vanishes. It feels as if the world has been placed in a vacuum. This is the silence before a storm that isn't made of rain or wind. Victims of the Oz effect often describe a feeling of intense dread, a static feeling on their skin, and the sensation that time has slowed down. Many believe this silence occurs when you slip into a liminal space, a bridge between our reality and another. When the natural world stops making sound, it's because it's hiding from something that has just entered our space. In the Appalachians, the Oz effect is considered a final warning. If you enter the silence, you have seconds to leave before the doorway closes behind you. In the mountains of West Virginia, there is a place where the silence is enforced by law. Green Bank is home to the world's largest steerable radio telescope, a machine so sensitive that it can hear the faintest whispers of dying stars from billions of light-years away. Because of this, the town exists in a radio-quiet zone. There is no Wi-Fi, no cell service, and no microwave ovens. While this sounds like a peaceful escape, Green Bank has become a magnet for those who believe they are electrosensitive. But even more disturbing are the reports of what happens when human technology is removed. Without the digital noise to mask it, residents report hearing a low hum coming from deep within the earth. Some claim that the lack of signals has allowed the area to become a thin spot in reality. People report seeing strange lights in the woods and experiencing missing time, gaps in their memory where hours pass in what feels like minutes. Is it possible that our modern technology acts as a shield, and that in the silence, we finally see the world as it truly is? If you ever find yourself in a zone of silence, whether in a desert, a deep forest, or an abandoned building, there are rules you must follow. These are not suggestions, they are the result of collective experience from those who almost didn't come back. First, trust your internal clock. If you feel like you've been standing in one spot for an hour, but your watch says only 5 minutes have passed, do not stay. The time dilation is a sign that the space you are in is unstable. Second, follow the water. In many ancient cultures, it was believed that running water acts as a barrier to the supernatural. If you feel lost in the silence, find a stream or a river. It is often the only thing that maintains its path when the rest of reality begins to loop. Third, do not call out. In a quiet zone, sound travels in ways we don't understand. If you yell for help, you might not be calling to people. You might be signaling your location to entities that use the silence to hunt. The most tragic part of the Great Silence is the list of those who vanished within it. In the national parks of the United States, there are hundreds of points of interest where people disappeared without a single footprint left behind. In many of these cases, the last thing witnesses reported was a sudden, eerie silence. Search and rescue teams often report that when they enter these zones, their GPS units fail and their radios only emit a high-pitched, ringing sound. When victims are found, they are often in a state of catatonic silence. They can see and hear, but they have lost the ability to speak, as if whatever they saw in the void took their voice away as payment for their return. It suggests that the Great Silence isn't just a lack of sound, it's a physical force that consumes information, memory, and life itself. Are these zones of silence natural anomalies, or are they scars on the fabric of our universe? Perhaps they are the rest areas for things that do not belong in our light. Or perhaps, they are a reminder that for all our technology and all our noise, we are still small children playing in a room that is much larger and darker than we realize. The next time your phone loses signal or your radio turns to static, pay attention. Look at the birds. Feel the wind. If the world suddenly becomes too quiet, don't wait for the sound to return. Turn around and walk back the way you came. Because in the Great Silence, the only thing louder than the void is the sound of your own heartbeat, and it might be the only thing keeping you tethered to this world. Thank you for exploring the unknown with us. We are listening to the silence, so you don't have to. Remember to like this video if you found it chilling and subscribe to join our journey into the dark.